Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the HomeGirl Tuesdays at 10, where every Tuesday at 10 o'clock, right here on Facebook, I'm going to be bringing you some tips, some quick punches, some real estate facts to prepare you for home ownership and beyond. Okay, I am the homegirl Sherrell Wright, and I am here to talk to you today about debt to income ratio. So last week we talked about overcoming fears, about getting into home ownership. So the purpose of the Homegirl Tuesdays at 10 is to give you bite-sized information that you can digest a little bit easier than me going on for an hour about the entire process of home ownership. But now I want to just give you bite-sized individual pieces that you can really break down, and we're going to just cover it little bit by little bit and give you more detail. Okay, so today, like I said, we're going to talk about debt to income ratio. And you hear this a lot. You hear people online talk about it. You hear lenders say, or you have to, that's a factor that will help you to get pre-approved for a home. That is true. You don't want to have a high debt to income ratio, and you want to also have good credit and have cash in the bank for your down payment, etc., etc. But nobody really talks about what is debt to income ratio and how you actually can calculate it. Okay, so this will help you be a more informed. This will help you be a more informed buyer. So now you can actually apply with confidence because you already know where your numbers fall. I always tell people, whenever you're buying a home, it's a three-way relationship. It's you as the buyer, your realtor, and your lender. You all have to work together cohesively. So the more that you understand about the process, the better experience you're going to have. And so that's why we're doing the Homegirl Tuesdays at 10. Okay, so let's get started. We all know what debt is, right? So debt is actually the amount of money that you owe per month. So debt is money that you owe, is money you owe. So when it comes to talking about calculating your debt to income ratio, okay, that number is basically calculating all of your debts. So if you're currently paying like a student loan, credit card bills, your car notes, those things are actually part of your debt. Now, your light bill, your water bill, your internet bill, that does not affect your debt to income ratio. What that does affect is if you don't pay it, it's going to be a derogatory remark on your credit report. So keep that going. But and when it comes to your DTI or your debt to income ratio, you will only calculate like outstanding loans or revolving loans. Those are the things that actually amount to your debt. Okay, because those are things that the lender's looking for because you already owe to a different creditor. Okay, so that's why they're taking that into account. So with your DTI, you're going to sum up the amount of your monthly debts, whatever that totals out to be for the month. Okay, then you're going to take your gross monthly income. Your gross monthly income is the money that you make gross before you get any taxes taken out. So for example, if your monthly income before taxes is $5,000 and your total debt, remember when I said debt is outstanding credits that you may have, not considering your light bill, water bill, internet bill, or even your cell phone bill. That's for a service. Those are service-based debts, and not even the debt because you don't owe it like as a creditor, as a line of credit. You just kind of owe it because you're using the service. So they're not the same. Okay, so when I talk about debt, it's like student loans, credit card, your car note. If you have a jewelry account that you bought a necklace and you got it financed. So anything that are financed, those are the debts that they're looking for. So if those debts amount to $2,500, then that your DTI will be calculated by the monthly debt divided by your monthly income, which is $5,000. Okay, so in our example, your monthly debts are equaling $2,500 divided by your income, which is $5,000, which is 0.5. Okay, so that is what you're going to get whenever you divide your debts by your income. You're going to get 0.5. You will then take that decimal number and times it by 100, and that will give you your income, so your debt to income ratio of 50%. Okay, so we're going to keep it clean. I'm not going to go into what that number means on the loan side. I am not a loan officer, but I do want to empower you as the potential home buyer, homeowner, and borrower to understand what this means, because again, we hear about it all the time. We are, saying to keep that number low, but we don't even know how to calculate it. So I'm going to write this out one more time because I kind of said this backwards, and I do apologize. So your debt to income ratio, okay, is the sum of all of your debts divided by your total monthly income, gross monthly income. And again, gross is the number that you get before the taxes are taken out. Okay, so this is debt. Y'all know my handwriting, and I hope that this isn't backwards. But what I'll do is I will just take a picture of this and just kind of post it in the comments so that I'll probably just type it on my computer and make it a little prettier. But okay, monthly debt. I'm just going to show this really quick. And then you take that number, and this is 50%, which gets you your DTI, which is your debt to income. Okay, I just wrote it. I'm going to show it one more time. Booyah on my sticky note. Okay, and I know that you may not be able to read this, so I will post this again in the comments just so you can have it as a reference. Okay, so one more again. To calculate your debt to income ratio, you divide your total monthly debt and you divide that into your total monthly income, your gross income. You get a percentage here. Okay, you then take that percentage and times that by 100. You get that decimal and times it by 100 to get your percentage, and that is your debt to income ratio. Okay, sorry, I kind of had that backwards at the beginning. I had to check my notes and I was like, oh yeah, I'm saying that wrong, but you get the drift. Okay, to get your DTI, you take your monthly debts, and again, your monthly debts are not your service provided bills. They are your car note, your credit card, any type of financing debt that you owe. Okay, so you take that number, total that up, okay, and whatever that number is, you divide that into your gross monthly income, and that's the number that you get before taxes are taken out. You're going to get a percentage here. Okay, with that with that decimal, you times it by 100. When you times it by 100, you get your percentage, and that is your DTI. Okay, so right now we're not going to go into what the lenders need, because every type of loan is different. Some lenders have a higher ratio that they're willing to accept. Some of them don't. So I'm not a loan officer. I'm not going down that path. But again, I do want to empower you all to know where you stand, to know your number, so that you have a better experience when it goes to get pre-approved. And you also can feel empowered, because that's the thing. You want to feel empowered. You're making a big decision. You want to know what you're doing. You want to feel confident in that. I had a loan officer explained that to me, 4 years ago when I was working on buying my second home. And during that time, I was planning to keep my very first home, which would then turn to my investment property. So I had to understand how to calculate my debts, right? Because as I'm purchasing my second home and turning my very first home into a rental property, that was counted against me as a debt. And I was like, okay. So he broke that down for me, and I was able to calculate that and understand where I stood. And so now I want to pass that information along to you all to empower you, to encourage you, to just let you know that you can do it. And that's all I have to say. So Homegirl Tuesdays at 10. Stick around next week. We're going to do this every Tuesday at 10 o'clock. 10 a.m. to give you some digestible pieces of information that could aid you on your home buying journey, because I want to empower you and to encourage you and to speak life into this experience. Okay? Any questions, comments, concerns, let me know, and I will do my best to kind of drop this in the comments for you all. I am Sherrell, the homegirl, Wright, and I'm checking out.